Ever think about like your first piggy bank? You know that sound of coins dropping in? It seems like forever ago, right?
Yeah.
Today, we're going way back further, like uncovering the origins of money.
Okay.
Get ready to go back thousands of years
Wow.
before piggy banks were even a thing.
It really is fascinating to think about a world without money
Yeah.
as we know it.
Right.
Like no dollars, no credit cards,
Yeah.
no tapping your phone for coffee.
Exactly. How did they even trade back then?
Right. How did they even like build economies?
That's what we're going to be looking at in this deep dive.
Cool.
And our guide is Alan Herrera.
Okay.
He wrote the book Gold, How It Shaped History.
Oh, cool.
He really like paints this picture of these ancient economies and kings
Yeah.
and even the world's first financial crash.
The first one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
His insights are really valuable
Yeah.
because he doesn't assume that gold has always been about like
Right.
wealth and currency.
Not at all, yeah. He takes us back to like 4700 BC,
Okay.
to the Varna culture in what's now Bulgaria.
Wow.
They were already so good at making things with gold,
Really?
crafting all this elaborate stuff.
Wow.
But here's the twist.
Yeah.
They weren't using gold as currency.
What?
Imagine that.
Yeah, crazy.
Having all that gold and not thinking about it as money?
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so what was it? Just like early bling.
It was is actually much more than just like looking good.
Okay.
For these people, gold represented like a link to the divine.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. Gold doesn't tarnish.
Yeah.
Doesn't decay.
It lasts forever.
Yeah, it's like a little piece of forever.
Right.
So it was their way of connecting to something eternal, something bigger than themselves.
So gold was their way of like connecting with the
Right.
the eternal.
Totally.
Wow.
So they adorned their most important people
Yeah.
with these elaborate gold artifacts,
Uh-huh.
headdresses, scepters, discs, you name it.
Gold was like a bridge between the world and something bigger.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's such a powerful thought.
Yeah.
But how did we get from gold as something sacred
Yeah.
to gold as money?
You know, it really came down to necessity.
Okay.
As trade routes expanded, people needed to exchange goods over like longer distances.
Right.
Bartering just wasn't going to cut it.
Can you imagine like hauling tons of grain across hundreds of miles
Oh my God.
to trade it?
It's a logistical nightmare.
That's cruel.
Merchants needed something portable,
Right.
universally recognized, something
Yeah.
that would last,
Right.
and relatively scarce.
Gold was like the perfect thing.
Yeah, it started to fit the bill.
But gold itself can be tricky.
Oh, totally.
How do you know if what you're getting is pure?
That's a great question.
Right. Or if it's mixed with other metals.
Well, that's where electrum comes in.
Electrum.
Yeah, it's a naturally occurring alloy
Oh.
of gold and silver.
So it's already mixed.
Yeah, often found in like riverbeds.
So nature's doing the mixing, but I imagine it was still hard to know what you were getting.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to trade with gold. That's a bit of a mystery box.
Right.
You don't know how much gold versus silver is in there.
Herrera talks about these electrum bars
Oh, yeah.
being used.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine like breaking off pieces of this bar to pay for stuff?
It's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
Like a really tactile way of doing business.
Yeah.
With value being negotiated piece by piece.
And this is all happening like around the second millennium BC.
Yeah.
So were there any attempts to standardize this?
That's a great question.
Yeah, to make it more like, I guess, reliable
Yeah.
and less like breaking up a chocolate bar.
That leads us to King Alyattes of Lydia.
Yeah.
He was a ruler with a vision
Right.
for efficiency
Hmm.
and I think a bit of a marketing genius.
Okay.
His kingdom,
Yeah.
centered around Sardis, this bustling city,
Okay.
is a major crossroads for trade.
Between the East and West.
Exactly.
So picture Sardis like a giant marketplace.
Yeah.
Merchants from everywhere
Everywhere.
haggling over prices
Totally.
and probably like the purity of their electrum.
Right. It's a scene that really comes alive in Herrera's book.
Yeah.
King Alyattes sees the chaos and opportunity,
Mm.
and he comes up with a solution. Standardized coins.
He invented coins.
He invented coins.
The first ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
He took those electrum bars
Mm-hmm.
and made them into uniform, easily recognizable coins.
Wow.
Each one with his royal stamp.
Oh, wow.
A lion's head.
Genius.
Right.
So now merchants didn't have to worry about the purity
Exactly.
or the weight.
No more debates.
They had the king's seal as like a guarantee.
It streamlined trade
Yeah.
and gave the king a lot more control over the economy.
So this Lydian king basically invented money as we know it.
It seems that way, right?
Okay. Case closed.
Well, not so fast.
Hmm.
The story of money, like gold itself, is full of twists and turns. Remember how gold also had that, like, sacred meaning?
Right, like people burying it as offerings
Exact.
and essentially taking it out of the economy.
That's a really important point
Okay.
because it leads us to one of the most surprising events
Yeah.
in the history of money. The world's first financial crash.
A financial crash back then.
You bet.
How did that even happen? Did someone, like, corner the market on electrum bars?
It actually begins with the destruction of Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
Yeah, by Nebuchadnezzar,
Oh.
the king of Babylon in the 6th century BC.
What does that have to do with the financial crash in Lydia?
It's all about gold.
Okay.
The temple in Jerusalem was famous
Yeah.
for its massive gold treasure.
Oh, wow.
Nebuchadnezzar needed money.
Yeah.
He had these big building projects back in Babylon,
Oh, I see.
and he saw the temple's wealth as a way to fund them.
So he just took it,
Yeah,
took all the gold back to Babylon,
exactly.
and that caused a ripple effect.
A ripple effect that no one could have predicted. All that gold going into the Babylonian economy,
Yeah.
it actually made the value of gold drop.
Too much gold made its value go down.
You got it.
That's crazy.
It's a classic example of supply and demand,
Yeah.
even back then.
So even kings can't totally control economics.
Not even close.
So the Babylonian economy gets flooded with gold.
Uh-huh.
Value drops.
Yep.
And somehow, this impacts Lydia.
It sure does.
How?
Well, remember King Alioti's system?
Yeah.
Those carefully calibrated electrum coins?
Uh-huh.
It was completely thrown off?
I bet the Lydian merchants were not happy.
No, I don't think so.
Did they just like shrug and say, well, that's gold for you? This is where King Croesus comes in.
Okay.
Alioti's successor. You know that saying, riches Croesus?
Yeah, Croesus, the king who was like dripping in gold.
That's him.
I guess that nickname came with some baggage.
He inherited a real mess.
Yeah.
The electrum system was in shambles.
Right.
He had to find a way to stabilize the Lydian economy.
Okay.
His solution.
Yeah.
Pure gold coins
Oh.
and pure silver
Yeah.
coins,
Right.
each with a fixed exchange rate.
So he separated the gold and silver
Exactly.
and said, this is what each is worth.
Precisely.
Wow.
It was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
We can trace the roots of the gold standard
Wow.
all the way back to King Croesus.
So we went from gold artifacts to electrum bars
Yeah.
to the first coins,
Yep.
and now this two-metal system.
Amazing, right?
It's incredible how fast things evolved.
It really highlights a crucial point.
Yeah.
Money, at its core, is about trust
Okay.
and belief.
Right.
It only works if everyone agrees on its value
Yeah.
and believes in the system.
That makes me think about today.
Yeah.
Digital currencies.
Right.
The metaverse.
Yeah.
Is that trust shifting?
Herrera makes this great argument.
It kept going.
Okay.
It helped fund new empires.
Sure.
Fueled financial booms and busts.
Throughout history.
Yeah. And gold's influence is still felt today.
So those patterns we saw in the ancient world,
Yeah.
gold's rise and fall,
Right.
its dual nature as both sacred and valuable,
Mm-hmm.
those themes just keep popping up.
Absolutely.
Like think about the California gold rush.
Yeah, in the 19th century.
Fortunes made and lost,
Yeah.
towns appearing overnight.
It's an iconic moment in American history.
But didn't that bring a lot of prosperity to the U.S.?
It did have its benefits.
Yep.
But all that new gold,
Mm.
it triggered a financial crisis in the 1870s.
Really?
Especially in Europe.
Hold on. A gold rush in California caused a financial crisis in Europe.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, Germany was switching
Yeah.
from silver to the gold standard.
Okay.
They saw what's happening in California, and they thought the world was overflowing with gold.
So they went all in on gold, thinking it was endless.
Pretty much,
And they were wrong.
they bet on the wrong horse.
Oh.
The California mines weren't as productive as they thought,
Oh.
and everyone wanted gold.
So what happened? Did Germany go on a gold buying spree?
They did, but with everyone wanting gold
Yeah.
and not enough to go around,
Yeah.
the price went way up.
And that caused.
Inflation.
Oh, wow.
Prices skyrocketed.
Yeah.
It was tough times.
Wow. It's like a reminder that gold,
Yeah.
with its allure and power,
Mm-hmm.
can have some pretty big consequences,
Totally.
even in the modern world.
Yeah, it's that paradox that Herrera talks about.
Yeah.
Gold is supposed to be stable,
Right.
a safe haven,
Yeah.
but its history is anything but stable.
It's like that Shakespeare line. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Ooh, nice.
Maybe the same is true for gold.
It's a fitting analogy.
Yeah.
Gold can be a heavy burden
Mhm.
for people
Yeah.
and for whole societies.
But even today, gold is still important.
That's true.
Globally,
Yeah.
it's powerful.
Yeah, it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what role will this old metal play in our digital world?
Right. With things like Bitcoin and NFTs.
Exactly.
It's a far cry from electrum bars and coins.
It is, but maybe they'd recognize some familiar patterns.
Yeah.
The need for stability,
Mm-hmm.
the desire for a system that's trustworthy.
Yeah.
Those are human needs that have always been there.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's the big takeaway from this deep dive into money.
I think so.
Whether it's gold, silver, paper, or code,
Right.
money is something humans made up.
Totally.
It reflects us,
Uh,
our values, our hopes, and yeah, even our fears.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, money's like a mirror,
Mm-hmm.
reflecting our psychology,
Yeah.
our relationship with scarcity, with abundance,
Right.
our desire for security.
And it's deep.
It is, right?
So as we figure out the future of finance,
Mm-hmm.
from the physical to the digital,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that the story of money isn't over.
No, not at all.
It's a story we're all writing.
We're all part of it.
Yeah, every time we buy something, invest in an idea,
Exactly.
or just imagine the future of value.
That's a great point.
It is.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What twists and turns are waiting for us?
Who knows? But I think it'll be a fun ride.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, if you're as fascinated by gold and money as we are,
Mm-hmm.
we really recommend Alan Herrera's book,
Yeah, it's great.
Gold, How It Shaped History.
It'll change how you think about money.
Yeah, and the forces shaping our world.
It's a journey through time and cultures,
Uh-huh.
revealing the hidden stories behind this metal
Yeah.
and its impact on us.
So next time you're using your credit card or checking your investments,
Yeah.
take a second to think about how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reminder that money is more than just a tool.
Totally.
It's a reflection of us,
Absolutely.
where we've been
Mm-hmm.
and where we might be going.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right, cool.
Cool. Yeah, it's all about the gold. So the temple in Jerusalem was known for having all this gold.
Yeah, tons of it, right?
And Nebuchadnezzar, he had these big plans back in Babylon,
Hmm.
big building projects.
Right.
He needed money,
Of course.
and he saw the temple as a way to get that money.
Oh, so he basically took it all,
Yeah.
looted it, and brought it back to Babylon.
Yeah, pretty much.
And nobody saw the consequences coming.
Nope. Nobody could have predicted it.
So all this gold floods into the Babylonian economy.
Yeah,
And that actually made the value of gold go down.
exactly.
That's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
It is, but it's a classic example of supply and demand.
I guess
So
so.
even all the way back then.
It really shows that even kings can't mess with economics.
Nope. Not even the most powerful ones.
So Babylon's economy is overflowing with gold.
Yep.
The value drops.
Mhm.
And somehow this impacts Lydia.
It does.
But how? How is that even connected?
Well, remember King Alliad's system with the Electrum coins?
Yeah, his big innovation.
It got totally messed
I
up.
bet that made things pretty chaotic.
Oh, yeah. It threw everything off balance.
So what did they do? Did they just give up?
Well, this is where we meet King Croesus.
Oh yeah, Rich's Croesus.
That's the one.
What a name, right?
He was Alliazi's successor.
So he walked right into this mess.
Yeah, he inherited a real financial crisis
Wow.
with Electrum out of the picture.
Right.
He had to find a way to stabilize the Lydian economy.
What did he do? Come up with something even more innovative?
He did. He decided to make pure gold coins
Okay, just gold?
and pure silver coins.
Okay, so separate.
And he set a fixed rate for each one.
So he was basically like,
Yeah.
this is what gold is worth and this is what silver is worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He separated them and gave them their own values.
That's amazing. It's like the foundation for the gold standard.
That's exactly what it was. It's pretty incredible.
It really is. We've come a
Wow.
long way from those gold artifacts.
I know, right? From sacred objects to electrum bars to coins with fixed rates.
Yeah, and it all happened so fast.
It really shows how important trust is when it comes to money.
Yeah, you have to believe in the system.
Exactly. You have to have faith in it for it to work.
That makes me think about today.
Yeah.
With digital currencies and all that.
The metaverse and everything.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if that trust is changing.
Herrera makes a good point about that.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
He argues that gold might not be the best foundation for an economy,
Really? Even with its history?
even with all of that.
Yeah.
Because it can be so unpredictable.
That's true. It's had its ups and downs.
Exactly.
But gold didn't just disappear when Rome fell.
No, it didn't.
So what happened? Did it just keep going?
It did. It played a role in new empires.
Oh, wow. So its influence continued.
And it was a part of financial booms and busts throughout history.
So are we basically seeing the same patterns over and over again?
I think so.
Gold's rise and fall.
Yeah.
That back and forth between being sacred and valuable.
Exactly. It just keeps repeating.
Like, think about the California gold rush.
Oh, yeah. A classic example.
Fortunes made and lost overnight.
Towns popping up left and right.
It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
But didn't all that gold help the U.S.?
It did have some positive effects.
Yeah.
But it also caused problems.
What kind of problems?
It actually triggered a financial crisis in the 1870s.
Wait a second. A gold rush in California caused a crisis in Europe?
It did. It's a bit of a complicated story.
How is that even possible?
Well, Germany was trying to switch to the gold standard,
Okay.
and they saw all this gold coming out of California.
So they thought there was tons of it.
Yeah, they thought it was endless.
And they were wrong.
They bet on the wrong horse.
What happened? Did they go crazy buying up all the gold?
They did, but that made the price of gold go way up.
Because everyone wanted it and there wasn't enough.
Exactly, and that led to inflation.
Oh, wow. So prices for everything went up.
Skyrocketed. People were struggling.
Wow. That's a reminder that gold can have some pretty crazy consequences.
It can. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah, even in the modern world.
Absolutely. It's that paradox that Herrera talks about.
That gold is supposed to be stable, but it's not really.
Yeah, it's seen as a safe haven, but its history is anything but safe.
It's like that line, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Oh, I like that.
Maybe it's the same for gold.
Maybe it is. It can be a heavy burden.
Yeah, for individuals and for whole countries.
Definitely. But even today, gold is still a big deal.
It is. It has this hold on us.
And that raises a big question.
What's that?
What role will gold play in our digital world?
That is a good question. With all the cryptocurrencies and everything.
Will we ever truly move beyond gold?
Yeah, it's a question worth thinking about.
Definitely.
Especially when you see countries like Russia, China, India.
Right.
They're buying up gold like crazy.
It's a trend that doesn't get enough attention.
Yeah, why are they doing that?
I think they see gold as a way to protect themselves.
Oh, so like a safety net.
Yeah. If things get unstable economically.
Even with all its ups and downs, gold is still like this security blanket for countries.
It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it seems like we're in this weird in-between place. Digital currencies on one side,
Yeah, challenging the old ways.
and then gold, this ancient metal.
Still holding on.
It makes you wonder what those Lydian kings would think.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
Bitcoin, NFTs, algorithms controlling the stock market.
What would King Aliyot say?
Right. It's
Ah.
so different from their world.
Yeah, but maybe they'd see some similarities.
Like what?
Well, the need for stability, the
Okay.
desire for a system that works.
Mm-hmm.
Those are human needs that never go away.
I guess that's the big lesson from all of this.
It might be.
This deep dive into the birth of money.
What do you think the lesson is?
I think it's that money, no matter what form it takes.
Right, whether it's gold or silver or ones and zeros,
It's all about us.
we created it.
It shows our values, our hopes, and yeah, even our fears.
It's like a mirror reflecting who we are.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
It shows our relationship with scarcity
With abundance.
and our need for security.
So no matter what happens with finance,
Yeah, as we move from physical to digital,
we're still writing the story of money.
we're all part of it.
Every time we spend or invest or even just imagine the future.
It's a journey we're all on together.
That's exciting and a little bit scary.
Definitely.
Well, if you're as intrigued by this as we are,
Yeah, if you want to learn more,
you should definitely check out Alan Herrera's book,
it's a great read.
Gold. How it shaped history.
It'll change how you think about money.
Yeah, and how it impacts our world.
It takes you through time, across cultures.
It's a real journey.
It reveals the hidden stories behind gold.
And how it shaped us.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
So next time you're using your credit card or checking your stocks,
Take a minute to think about how we got here.
it's a good reminder that money is more than just a tool.
It's a reflection of who we are
Where we've been.
and where we might be going.
And on that note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap up this deep dive into the birth of money.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.